Hey friends, welcome to another ranked video. Today we're going to take a look at Halo Reach. Now to be honest, I'm not actually the biggest fan of Reach, however, the campaign is top tier. I think it's my second favorite of all time. It's so good. So with that said, we're going to dive in, we're going to rank all 10 campaign missions. We're going to kind of ignore the cutscene only missions, whether in MCC or the only cutscene mission in the original release. So we have 10 missions here, and I do want to say right off the bat, all of the missions in this game are phenomenal. I don't think there's actually a bad mission in this game. The other Halo games, they have bad missions. I really don't feel like Reach has any bad missions, and so I might poo-poo on some of your favorites. This is going to be a lot of personal bias, and I'll explain why I'm feeling these things, or why I do or don't like levels, but just know that a lot of this is just going to be my opinion. So with that, let's get right into it. Alright, so for number 10, we have Exodus. Now, I mean, some people are going to hate that I put this here, but this mission is really, really fun. Again, there's not a bad mission in this game. But this mission is just a lot of going through the white and gray and a little bit of blue buildings until the very end. Visually, it's not very appealing. There's no other Spartans in this mission. And I'm not going to lie, the best part of this is the tone. You get to see all the civilians running for their lives. You get to see all kinds of chaos happening and ensuing as they're trying to save people. They're trying to launch ships into safety, and they're blowing up, and civilians are dying, and it's chaos. The Covenant are destroying the city. It does a really good job tonally for setting the stakes. In terms of the best gameplay part, I mean, you get to go jetpacking with ODST, and you fight the brutes, which are reintroduced in this level from previous games. Like I said, this is a good level. I just think it's a little dull, it's a little bland. There's not a lot at stake in terms of the story, like long term. I feel that the next level does a better job of dealing with the same city. Also, this level, of course, introduces the brutes, and I actually don't think the brutes are very interesting to fight in this game compared to Halos 2 or 3. I much prefer those iterations of them, so I think overall this level is good. I just don't think it reaches great. And so now at number 9 we have the package. This is another good level that just falls short of great. Now, we get the tank section for this game in this level, which is pretty good, but it is a retread of an earlier level of Oni Sword Base. Now, this does a really good job of kind of flooding the water, so there's different aspects to this level. You get to see the destroyed parts of Sword Base. Like, this place has been absolutely ravaged. It's wonderful, but it is kind of just going through the same thing for the most part. I don't think it's different enough. Yes, you're going through with a tank, so obviously that's very appealing. But I don't think it's different enough. And then the second half of the level is really a glorified, firefight-based defense. You kind of get waves and waves thrown at you, and you just gotta survive for as long as you need to until they open the door and you can go in. It just feels like firefight. Yeah, they give you the turrets. Yeah, there's stuff like you can hijack a Banshee, and you can still go around and fight different enemies, and there's a lot of enemy variety here. There's a lot of weapon variety here. But it's just not that interesting of a mission, in my opinion. It's beautiful. It's gorgeous seeing the under the ice cavern thing. But it's alright. In terms of story, it's really good. Of course, you get to see Cortana here. It's a big deal. But outside of that, I don't think this level is very fun compared to some of the other ones. And so the package is at number 9. Alright, some people are going to disagree with this, but for number 8, I have Nightfall. This level is a throwback to Truth and Reconciliation from the first game, at least the first half of Truth and Reconciliation. But if you recall in my previous video, I actually don't love that level. It's not my favorite. There are some great moments in this one. You get to see like the native species fighting the Covenant, and you get the whole like, oh, what are you going to do with these stolen weapons? And you're going to steal them back. The cool little banter. But really, this is just kind of going in a linear path from location to location, clear the area, maybe defend the area for a little bit, and I just don't think any of the sections in this level are super notable or interesting. You get some cool moments. You get the firefight level, which I think is probably the nicest part, which is why they made it a firefight level. The very end, you kind of deal with the hunters as you're defending that little tower thing, planting the charge. Like, it's all cool, it's all fine. This is a good romp with the sniper rifle, but other than that, I don't think this level is that interesting, to be honest. So, Nightfall is at number 8. And then at number 7, we have Winter Contingency, the first level of the game. First levels often aren't very easy to rank because they are teaching you things, right? So you're limited in your enemy variety. You are limited in your weapon choices. oftentimes it's a fairly linear level. However, this one is one of the best first levels in the entire Halo series. It's got a unique tone, because normally in a lot of Halo games, maybe a little more than half, you're starting in a spaceship and a linear path. This one, you get to discover farmland, and then it opens up a little bit. You get to make a makeshift warthog out of a truck, and George with his big turret there. Again, it gets pretty wide, it's outdoors, it's green, you get to explore a little bit, you can optionally drive past, or you can go explore different buildings and see different things. I think the tone of this level and setting the stakes of, like, you know, there's no suspicion of Covenant even being on Reach, and then discovering them, and you're being out of communication with Howland. And it even takes a good twist with the end, where you have the darker interior, you get introduced to using the night vision, you have some Zealot elites that you have to take down, you get the shotgun, introducing a little bit more in terms of the armor abilities as well. It's a pretty good level overall. Of course, this game is filled with great levels, but especially as first levels come by, this is a great first level. So at number 6, we have to go with Tip of the Spear. This level has a great opening, and just the great cinematic of an army of UNSC versus an army of Covenant. This level features vehicle sections that are pretty fun when you get to use the Seraph, you get to use the Warthog, the Rocket Hog. I think overall, it's a pretty fun level, but the actual arenas and the places you fight, I kind of feel like I'm left wanting more. It's nice being able to drive around the level, but it's not super explorative. Like, it's open, but it's also somewhat linear. And really, it's go to the AA cannons, blow them up. Also, if you know anything about Reach's AI for the companions, you've seen Spartan Cat drive you off a cliff all the time. If you know, you know. But yeah, later in the level, you got like the flying turret section, which is cool, but it's a little short-lived. You know, ripped straight from Call of Duty. Then you got the storming the spire, which is a really cool, like, unique. Hey, we're gonna climb this big thing, but it's kind of boring, to be honest. I think, all right, cool. We have some enemies on the bottom. We got some enemies at the top, and there's a grav lift that takes you up. You know, I think the stakes would be a little bit higher if you had snipers at the top shooting down, maybe some banshees flying around, and you're having to hijack something in order to even get to the top. They shut off the grav lift, right? Raise the stakes, but as is, it's all right. I think it's a cool set piece. It's a cool multiplayer map, but I don't think it lives up to the opening of the level. You know, I would expect major, large-scale conflicts based on the beginning of this level, and it just kind of ends up being an okay little going through the countryside, blowing up Covenant stuff. Alright, at number 5, we have Pillar of Autumn. This level is great for locales and absolutely phenomenal for the depressing mood. Just knowing that, like, hey, we lost. It's over at this point. The entire rest of the team is dead by the end of this level. You have great story bits. You get to see Captain Keyes. You get Emil's death. You get all kinds of awesome story stuff going on here. Carter's death, even. I didn't even mention that. Like, the sacrifice. It's great. The closest thing we have to a Warthog run in this game, you get the little mongoose running away. You have to try to hurry up and navigate down the road, avoiding the scarabs and the drop pods. Like, there's just too many of them. You gotta run. You get all kinds of weapons to use in this. You got the energy sword, the hammer, the fuel rod, the grenade launcher. All those things are in this level. You have the highest ranking enemies in there. You even have, like, the unique gameplay segment where you get to operate like a MAC cannon or whatever the big turret is at the end. It's a very unique, fun level. Of course, this is all the stakes, right? This is the second to last level, really the last main campaign mission, and it's great. The set pieces are great. The story is great. This is just a great level. I do think the levels after this, both tonally, are even better, and just my preferred levels to play in this game. But I love Pillar of Autumn. Everything at this point is interchangeable, right? You could 100% tell me Pillar of Autumn is best or second best, and I would agree with you, to be honest. It's really good. At number 4, we have Oni Sword Base. Now, this is a very straightforward Halo level, but really, it's one of my top picks when I come back to this game. I love playing it. The vibe is just nice, right? You're defending the Oni building, you're going to go out to the outposts and clear the Covenant and re-establish defenses, you're going to come back to the building, you're going to clear out the Covenant that have made it inside, you're going to climb to the top, you're going to defend it using the rocket launchers. You know, the moments with the stealth elites and the rocket launchers on top is great, which leads into the story bits with George, and then Halsey and the deeper lore stuff. Then the early parts of the level where they give you a Warthog, you have the freedom to go, you know, do you want to go tackle these outposts or this one first? Do you want to go to 3 different spots? You want to You get that little orbital drop cannon thing that is, I don't even remember how many levels it's in, but I the only one to know for sure it's in this level. It's just a fun level. I don't know if it does anything unique or so much better than every other level that, you know, it's the best at any one thing. It's just overall a really good level, and a level I really like to play. Alright, before we get to the top 3, thank you so much for watching this far into the video. If you've enjoyed it, please comment of what you think is the top 10 for this, or if you were to rank every level, what would you put? Please tell me if you disagree, because I really want to know down below. Now, for number 3, it is Lone Wolf. I know some people absolutely love this level. It's so unique. Halo's never done anything like it since. And this level is really hard to rank because, I mean, it's not a standard campaign level. It's a unique experience for sure. It's a little challenge level almost. The atmosphere is just unbeatable, right? You got the fog from all the dust and kick up and war that's been going on for months at this point. You have the survival aspect, like go find the weapons. You get a little bit of that like Call of Duty Zombies kind of vibe, you know, with the whole finding the weapons and such. But the sound effects, the music kicking in, and just the airy like the chants and the choir of, you know, like, hey, this is somber, this is the end, this is it. The little screen effects where if you take shots, your visor starts to crack. It's just so good. Like I said, it's just not easy to compare, right? This isn't the same as like, oh, going through the Silent Cartographer. Like, this is one objective, and it could end in 30 seconds, or it could end in 20 minutes if you're that good. I've never seen that, but I'm sure it exists online. So Lone Wolf is my 3rd favorite mission in this campaign. Alright, so at number 2 we have New Alexandria. Now, this may not be everybody's favorite. In fact, I actually don't think it was my favorite, or, you know, that high up on my list until I recently replayed the game for this video. I love this level. It was way more fun than I remember it being. Flying the Falcon is just great. I love the Falcon. It's my favorite of any of the UNSC air vehicles in any of the games. You're going around to different locations, and there's a lot of throwbacks. You got multiplayer maps, you got the ODST firefight reference, and the little like air, hey, you know, take out these turrets, take out these things, defend the top of this building. But I think one of the best parts of this level, on top of all that, on top of it being fun, right, you get all kinds of enemy variety. You got hunters and brutes and elites and jetpack elites and all kinds of stuff. But on top of that, the atmosphere is absolutely incredible. I don't think any level in this game has done the atmosphere better. You have the skyscrapers literally falling in real time as you're flying by them. You get to see as the whole camera shakes and the Covenant ship flies in, and you see it glass, and the entire like orange fire, the red fire in the distance is growing as more ships are joining, and they're glassing the city, and it's just absolute chaos. Then the end of the level, of course, you have Kat dying, you have the whole just, we lost, it's over, like, it's so good. This level is amazing, both in terms of story, in terms of tone, and just in terms of engagements that it throws you in. And the fact that you actually personally fly around in the Falcon to get to these places. So, I love this level. It is my number 2. Alright, and at number 1, I really went back and forth on this. I'm like, man, am I going to give it number 1 because of these things? And yeah, I am. Long Night of Solace is so good. I mean, this is one of the most unique levels in all of Halo. Alright, first, the story's great. The story of this level, you have George and his sacrifice at the end, and he thinks he's about to save Reach, and just the stakes, and then, of course, the very twist where the Covenant fleet flies in at the very end, and it's just overwhelming, and it's so good. But even outside the story, you start with the storming the beach. Reminds me of my favorite level in Halo 1, Silent Cartographer. This was, of course, the level, if you went back to E3 years and years ago, this is the level that they showed off because they knew how good it was. Then, another beat that I really love, when you do board the Covenant ship, I think this is the best the interior of a Covenant ship has ever looked. Like, just the light glimmer, the dark purple, but like all the little details and all the little lights. I think this is the absolute best the Covenant ships have ever looked in any of the games up until this point. I haven't really looked that closely at Campaign Evolved yet, I don't know. Yeah, Halo Reach's interior Covenant stuff is gorgeous, I love it. And then there's no beating around the bush. The space combat is one of the most unique one-off gameplay sections that have ever been done in any of the Halo games. I know that Halo 4 had some space combat stuff. It's not as good. Halo Reach was so much fun, and for it to be just this one-off little gameplay section, but play so well is absolutely wonderful. It's really, really good. And so cumulatively, you bring that all together, and this level is fantastic. I love it. Again, Campaign Evolved is going to have a level very similar, where you're flying in space, and then you're going to be boarding Covenant stuff. So I'm really curious to see if, in terms of at least visuals, that tops this for me. But I love Long Night of Solace. I think it's the best mission in Halo Reach. It's not just because of the gameplay gimmick. I think overall this is a great level for story, and for the parts that you are boots on the ground is also just, it's so good. So anyways, guys, that was my list for ranking all of Halo Reach's campaign missions. Again, let me know in the comments what your ranking would be, because I'm really curious. Hey, maybe you love Exodus, or maybe you hate Lone Wolf. I don't know. You're probably weird if you do, but if you hate Lone Wolf, put it in the comments, let me know. If you watched this far, a like, a subscription, all those things are also very much appreciated. Thank you for watching, and I hope to see you in another video.
Bad news is, time is fried.